Hey guys, I know it's been a little bit, and I just want to talk about something that I've just seen online. A lot of people doing stuff about the World Cup draw, 2026 World Cup draw, which is today now, which the day I'm filming this video. And recently, I've been seeing a lot of videos where it just does not seem like uh, Americans know how the World Cup draw works, which is kind of baffling to me. And it's where a lot of them keep saying how they think they seem to be a bit bemused about the process of it, and like it seems like none of them has ever seen it before. And I'm going to give a couple of examples actually now. Like, so Fox 5 News New York YouTube channel, go watch that video right now. It's called How the World Cup Draw Works Explained, and it's called Dan Bowens and Tina Cavasio, I believe. But both of them are talking about how the World Cup draw works, and Tina basically gets every single thing wrong. She doesn't explain how the biggest thing in the draw is that you can't have more than one confederation in the same group unless you're from UEFA. It doesn't explain how the intercontinental playoffs are treated as three different confederations because there's three different teams in there, and how they can't be drawn into any of the confederations that are in that intercontinental playoff. They don't. The biggest thing as well is that she said the US doesn't know where they're going to be playing their games yet. They might be playing it in southeast area of the US, like Texas area, or in California. It's already been decided like 2 years ago where they're going to be playing. Like it was already decided that America is playing in two games in the SoFi Stadium in LA and another in Seattle. That was decided like 2 years ago. I mean, how do you not know that? There was another one where she said how, oh, the US could face Germany and the Netherlands. That's not possible because Germany and Netherlands, as they showed in the graphic they had on their YouTube video, they're in the same pot as the US, pot one, so they can't be drawn into the same group. Another big mistake was that the guy who was holding the football, which is actually they had it on a little podium in front of them when they were talking about the draw, and the problem is though this ball is from the Club World Cup, not the World Cup. Like the Club World Cup is the one where Chelsea beat PSG in the final. Inter Miami are in it, Man City are in it, Al Hilal are in it. I think the Seattle Sounders are in it. That ball foot is called the Club World Cup ball, and it even says it on the football. I don't know if they realise that or they're just using a random ball, but the way they put it on the front of the podium in front of them when discussing the World Cup made it seem like that was the ball for the World Cup, but it's not. The ball for the World Cup is called the Triunder. It was released a couple months ago. You can buy it. It's got orange, green, and blue stripes on it, representing Canada, Mexico, US. Don't know how they made a mess of that. It just shows. I feel like neither of them had any knowledge of football whatsoever. Tina also said Group E, all those games when we played at the MetLife Stadium, I think. And she said how, oh, you'll be able to see them if you're in New York. That's not true. Only one of those six games in Group E is being held in the MetLife Stadium. And I mean, it's just how can you just simple look on Wikipedia, you could like solve all these things here. But no, they clearly hadn't done any research for this segment. And yeah, only one of those games is being played there at MetLife Stadium in Group E. She also said there's 12 groups in the World Cup, which is true, but then she listed 11 in the US, 2 in Canada, 3 in Mexico, which makes 16. So that doesn't make any sense. But I think what happened is she got mixed up between there's 16 host cities and there's 12 groups. They're different things. So the groups are being held across 3 different zones: the Eastern Zone, the Western Zone, and the Central Zone. And she obviously got confused around the host cities and the difference between that and the groups. And that's just another basic gaff. And also the guy there could have corrected her when she said 12. So there's 12 groups, and then she listed 16, like when it's not. That's not 12. So that was a bit of embarrassing. And then there was another thing where she said the rankings for the World Cup are decided just before the draw. That's not true. They've already been decided. The pots have already been decided based on the most recent World Cup rankings, based on after the most recent what's it called? International matches in early to mid-November. That's already decided. So I don't know what she's talking about there. And then they did mention how the top four, Spain and Argentina are up on other sides of the draw. This new ruling, which is true, But then they didn't explain that France and England are also put on other sides of the draw because of this new ruling. And then Tina, even worse, she explained how all 48 teams, it applies to all 48 teams, so that none of the 48 teams based on ranking will face each other until the very last moment. That's not true. It's only the top 4 teams. And finally, they said one other thing, which I think was just baffling. I mean, it was just ridiculous. Yeah, they couldn't get they didn't understand how they were drawing out the pots either. I mean, they were explaining how there's these buckets where these ping pong balls come out of or something. There was another American ex-footballer who explained the draw as well and said that. And it's like, they're not buckets, they're just pots, and they're not ping pong balls. They're massive balls. I mean, it's just people just do not seem to understand how the draw works, and it's pretty basic. And a lot of people don't seem to understand that you can't have more than one confederation, unless it's from UEFA, in the same group. People just don't seem to understand that. They also said how it makes it harder for teams to go on long runs. That's not necessarily true because you have like the 2018 World Cup. I think people on CBS also mentioned this, and it was about Nico. I think his name Nico. He's the guy who's always drinking matcha tea or something from his pineapple glass or something. Anyway, he said how Morocco had it easier because under the previous rules. That's why they got so far at the 2022 World Cup. But Morocco faced Spain in the round of 16 and Portugal in the quarterfinals. So this wasn't an easier draw at all. So that point is just invalid and makes no sense. And there was also a segment on the CBS Golasso YouTube channel where Hannah Cash, the host, who's actually the sister of Matty Cash, the Aston Villa footballer, she didn't know what a group of death was. I'm just thinking, how do you not know what a group of death is? You're like a professionally played football analyst, pundit / host. Never heard of the group of death. And it was just a number of those instances. Then they also said, I think Jeff Shreve said, or Nico said, Ecuador was in England's 2006 World Cup group. No, it wasn't. That was Paraguay. I think they faced Ecuador in the round of 16 or quarterfinals. So they messed that up. And then there was another one where there was this other group of American footballers. Although no, sorry, there was this I think it was called the No Club Draw or something. This YouTube channel where they did a simulated the actual draw again, and they didn't realize that there was an earlier group that could have had an intercontinental playoff because they didn't take into account all the teams that were in the intercontinental playoffs, so they messed that up. And there was another thing. Jeff Shreves on CBS said he didn't understand how the ranking system worked. They didn't know if it was done by world rankings, like the seedings. Come on, that's a basic error. And I mean, these people. I mean, I might look it up. Actually, I think they've taken the video down on Fox 5 News New York. You guys can check it out. But I put a comment below with all 8 different things of all the things that went wrong with it. And I mean, seriously, I've got it up here. All the things that I said, and they didn't mention the multiple different teams in the intercontinental playoffs and how that worked. They also didn't mention the regions. So there's the the central region, the eastern region, and the western region. They didn't make any of that. And I just think one of the most baffling things is how can you not get that where the US is drawn? That's your home country. How do you not know that? I mean, this is basic stuff. Surely you would know as a passionate American football fan, but clearly neither of them are. So in the end, it was just ridiculous. And you guys check out those videos that I just mentioned. CBS, Golasso. I think ESPN did a bad video as well, and New York 5 Fox News. Check it out. Thanks, and I'll see you later.